Benito Mussolini, the fascist dictator of Italy, was captured and executed during the final days of World War II, a pivotal moment that signified the collapse of the fascist regime and the end of Mussolini's control over Italy. By 1943, Italy was suffering immense losses in the war, and Mussolini's leadership was increasingly unpopular. On July 25, 1943, the Fascist Grand Council voted to remove Mussolini from power. He was subsequently arrested on the orders of King Victor Emmanuel III. This marked the beginning of the end for Mussolini, who had ruled Italy with an iron fist for over 2 decades. However, in September 1943, German forces rescued Mussolini from imprisonment in a daring raid at the Gran Sasso. Hitler installed him as the head of the Italian Social Republic, RSI, a Nazi puppet state in northern Italy, which relied heavily on German military support. The RSI was fraught with internal conflict and lacked popular support, leading to its gradual disintegration as Allied forces advanced. By early 1945, the situation for the Axis powers in Italy had become dire. The Allied forces were pushing northward, and the partisan resistance within Italy was growing stronger. On April 25, 1945, with the liberation of northern Italy imminent due to a general partisan uprising, Mussolini realized that his time was running out. In a desperate attempt to escape capture, Mussolini decided to flee to Switzerland. Disguised as a German soldier, he joined a German convoy retreating toward the Swiss border. Alongside him were his mistress, Clara Petaxi, and several loyal fascist officials. On April 27, 1945, the convoy was stopped by Italian partisans of the 52nd Garibaldi Brigade near the small town of Dongo on the shores of Lake Como. During the inspection, Mussolini was recognized despite his disguise. The partisans promptly arrested him, along with Petaxi and other prominent members of the fascist entourage. Mussolini was initially taken to a nearby farmhouse where he awaited his fate. After his capture, there was significant debate among the partisans about what to do with Mussolini. While some advocated for a trial, others, fearing a potential rescue by remaining German forces, or the possibility of Mussolini using a trial to incite further unrest, argued for immediate execution. The decision was made to execute Mussolini summarily to avoid any further complications. On April 28, 1945, Mussolini and Clara Petaxi were driven to the village of Giulino di Mezzegra, near Dongo. They were taken to the gates of Villa Belmonte, where they were executed by a firing squad. The execution was carried out by Walter Ordizio, a partisan leader using the alias Colonel Valerio. According to various accounts, Mussolini faced his execution with apparent resignation, offering little resistance. Clara Petaxi reportedly tried to shield Mussolini, but was shot as well. Both died instantly from the gunfire. Following the execution, Mussolini's body, along with those of Petaxi and several other fascist leaders, was loaded into a truck and driven to Milan. The bodies were dumped in Piazza Loreto, a location chosen for its symbolic significance. A year earlier, the fascists had executed and displayed the bodies of 15 partisans in the same square. The bodies of Mussolini, Petaxi, and the others were hung upside down from a metal girder at a gas station. This gruesome display was intended to be both a public spectacle and a form of retribution. The corpses were subjected to abuse by the crowd, who spat on, kicked, and threw stones at them, expressing the deep hatred accumulated during Mussolini's brutal regime. Mussolini's death marked the definitive end of fascism in Italy, but it left a legacy of division and trauma that would shape the country's post-war history. The collapse of the fascist regime led to the establishment of the Italian Republic, but the scars of Mussolini's dictatorship continued to influence Italian society and politics for decades.